December football in northern New Jersey, 36 degrees and winds at 15 to 30 miles per hour.
Some key guys out of the game this afternoon. There's your big one, Albert Hainsworth. That's going to affect that run defense for the Washington Redskins. Also Ryan Terrain, an impact in that running game, Laron Landry. But there's the Giants. The depth in the offensive line. Sean Andrews, David Deal, Sean O'Hara. That's a lot of hits. And then Steve Smith and Hakeem Nicks. That's going to affect them, and Tony talked about it at the top in the passing game.
Giants have won the toss. Graham Gano kicks off to Danny Ware. Ware takes it out across the 40-yard line. Finally tackled by Macho Harris. 37 yards on the return by Ware as Eli Manning leads the Giants offense onto the field, tied for the NFL lead in touchdown passes this season with 23.
Yeah, the knock on Eli has been his interceptions have been up a little bit, but there's a lot of tip balls in there, probably 7 during the course of the season up until this point. And at the top, we talked about this Giant defense carrying the team a little bit until the offense gets their players back. Another way is special teams. Great job by DJ Ware on that kickoff return, giving them good starting field position.
Brandon Jacobs starts for the second consecutive week with Bear Pasco leading the way. The handoff to Jacobs. He gains 2 down to the 43-yard line as we take a look at the Giants' third-ranked offensive unit.
Well, injuries are a part of the game, but sometimes there gets to be so many of them that they impact you. And Mario Manningham is going to be the receiver that the Redskins will focus on. They are not going to allow him to beat them. And then you look at this offensive line. We showed you the 3 players that were out. That's going to impact this group, too. They've lost that chemistry. It's difficult for those 5 to work together. They've been shuffled around quite a bit here in the last month.
And there's Mario Manningham at the top of the screen, a player that they want to take away.
On 2nd and 8, it's Jacobs. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks away from Rocky McIntosh. Has a first down and more. Brandon Jacobs finally knocked down inside the Redskins 20 by Reed Dowdy after running for 39, his longest run of the season.
Well, you just got to make a play as a player. There's a low tackle. There's Rocky McIntosh in position. Now you don't expect Brandon Jacobs to give you a little stop and stutter and get around a linebacker, but that's exactly what he did to Rocky McIntosh. That play was dead in the backfield by that Redskin defense, but a great individual effort by Brandon Jacobs.
And he's running better than ever, Darryl. You know, earlier in the year, people were questioning and how he was running, but I'll tell you what a combo they have there in the backfield.
He's replaced by Bradshaw. And Ahmad Bradshaw gains 7 down to the Redskins' 11-yard line. Darryl, you mentioned the Redskins, the 32nd ranked, last ranked defense in the NFL.
They're going through a transition. They're trying to become a 3-4. They don't have a true nose guard. Maake Kimawatu is there. Albert Hainsworth is one of those guys. He's not available. They need another rusher opposite Brian Arakpo. But in the secondary, they've got some injuries there too. Laron Landry not being there today. He was the defensive MVP candidate at the midpoint of the season. And Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator, had great things to say about the way Laron Landry plays the game of football.
Giants have not scored a touchdown on an opening drive this season. Manning complete to Derek Hagan, who was brought back a couple of weeks ago due to the injury suffered by Smith and Nicks, and Hagan gains 2 down to the Redskins 9.
And Derek Hagan should get plenty of opportunities today. You know, Tony mentioned it. They're going to keep their eyes on where Mario Manningham is. That Redskin defense will locate 82. They're not going to let him beat him. The other thing they talked about, the other component they said they couldn't let get going this afternoon was this Giants run game, but they missed a big opportunity on Brandon Jacobs early.
3rd down and 1. 3 tight ends, the toss to Bradshaw, and Ahmad Bradshaw is close. Our yellow line is unofficial.
I got an opportunity to talk to Carl Banks before the game. He knows this Giant team very, very well. One of the things that he felt they needed to do was Bear Pasco, number 86, who's become the fullback with Madison Hedgecock out. who's normally a tight end, was in the backfield. But he would be in a true static position when they were going to run the ball, and he would motion when they were going to throw the ball. One of the change-ups I think we're going to see this afternoon, just to give Bear Pasco a little bit better opportunity to be successful with his blocks, is a play just like that. Motion him out a little bit, put him on the edge, motion him from the outside back in, give him a better angle to block some of those linebackers inside.
Bradshaw did pick up the first down. You mentioned Carl Banks, former Giants great at linebacker, also played for the Redskins, now the Giants radio analyst. First and goal from the 8, off the play fake. Manning with time, and then he throws it out of the end zone. He was looking for Manningham.
And this is one of the areas that you're going to have some issues with when you've got a lot of your starters out. Now, Derek Hagan, Eli Manning doesn't know what he's going to do in that situation. He's covered. How does he react to that? Now, here's the other guy, Mario Manningham, and there's D'Angelo Hall. That is what you're going to see all afternoon. They are going to put D'Angelo Hall on Mario Manningham, lock him down, and challenge either Derek Hagan, Devin Thomas, Michael Clayton, one of the other guys on the outside to make plays in the passing game.
Not much of a pass rush either. Usually Albert Hainsworth is in there getting a push in the middle, but obviously, we talked about him in active today, so they're missing that aspect of Redskins.
And Jacobs walks it in for the Giants' first touchdown on an opening possession this season.
The Giants' offensive line collapsing. The whole line is scrimmage to the right. Brandon Jacobs, nice cut back to the left-hand side, walks right in. Beckham, nice job on the block right there.
And Brian Arakpo has to understand that he has to contain on that side. He did not feel Travis Beckham coming in from the outside at all.
Lawrence Tynes, the extra point. Terrific start for Brandon Jacobs and the Giants. The key play, Jacobs' 39-yard run, 7-0 Giants.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
There's Brandon Jacobs, who has given the Giants an early lead. Giants' first opening drive touchdown since last December 21st in Washington. And the Giants have not scored a first-half touchdown over their last 3 games. The explosive Brandon Banks back deep, and a short kickoff by Tynes as he keeps it away from Banks. This is Chris Wilson on the return, and he takes it out to the 38-yard line.
I'm not a fan of that. I know that Brandon Banks has got some great potential, but that's just giving great starting field position to your opponent. Kick the ball deep and challenge your coverage team.
Well, here's Donovan McNabb facing the Giants for the first time as a member of the Redskins. Terrific career numbers against the Giants, a record of 11-7, and he won his last 4 with the Eagles against New York. Redskins had all kinds of problems running the football last week against Minnesota. First down handoff to Keelan Williams, and he gains 1.
And that's going to be the challenge all afternoon with Keelan Williams as your running back, and James Davis will get some shots there, but you can't be one-dimensional. You've got to at least threaten this Giant team with a run. Otherwise, it's going to go to Donovan McNabb to win it. So this group up front, they have got to find a way to create some running lanes, because if you become one-dimensional against this Giant front, it's going to be a long afternoon for Donovan McNabb.
Again, it's Williams, the rookie out of LSU, who's a penalty marker, as Williams stumbles out to midfield and picks up a first down. Walt Coleman, our referee today.
Kind of a common theme here if this is against the Redskins. Santana Moss said they're their own worst enemies all season long.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, 77. Offense, 15-yard penalty, still second down.
And we just got done talking about the challenge it'll be for the Redskins to run the football. They get a good run, and then Jamal Brown gets called on the face mask. You can see it right there.
Grab the face mask of Justin Tuck. So the Redskins force back to their own 25.
this is a situation that the Giants like. 2nd and 23. They're going to pin their ears back right here and rush the passer.
McNabb throws for the first time, complete to the tight end Chris Cooley, a gain of 8. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Vikings and Bills. Brett Favre starting his 297th straight game, but look at this. Gets hit by Arthur Moats and intercepted by Drayton Florence. The key is, though, he injured his wrist on this play, is out of the game now. Tavares Jackson in at quarterback for the Vikings, and he is matriculating him down the field. Favre on the sideline will update you later. Can you listen to this?
I tell you what, Kurt, we had them in early in the season, week 3, I think, against Detroit, and Detroit beat up Brett Favre pretty bad that week. It's been a tough season for Mr. Favre.
His league-leading 18th interception. McNabb down back at the 22-yard line on pressure from the rookie out of South Florida, Jason Pierre-Paul, who had his first 2 NFL sacks last week.
I think the light bulb has gone on for Jason Pierre-Paul. Everybody talked about his raw individual talent. He just had to get some football IQ. This is a guy who played basketball mostly through high school, has not been playing football very long at all.
Hunter Smith punting to Darius Raynaud, lets it bounce, takes a Giants roll, and is down at the 41-yard line. Good start for the Giants.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Back at the Meadowlands, Fox Sports is proud to support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital when they're doing wonderful work every day to help kids battle cancer. Please join us in the fight and donate now at stjude.org/Fox Sports.
The great thing, all that research they're doing at St. Jude's, they're able to give to all the other hospitals and physicians around the country.
Terrific starting field position for the Giants once again. Giants with an opening drive touchdown for the first time in 2010. Starting from their own 41. Brandon Jacobs in the backfield. Manning looking to throw. Has all kinds of time. And it's Kevin Boss, the tight end, who makes the catch in Redskins territory. Finally brought down by Rocky McIntosh after picking up 21.
Well, that 3-man rush isn't getting no pressure at all on Eli. He has all day to sit back there and find Kevin Boss back there, Bruce.
Well, you got Phillip Buchanan playing him with outside pressure. The only chance you had was Rocky McIntosh coming across from that linebacker spot. But I tell you, Kevin Boss is a big physical guy. You better wrap him up. You can't just come in and throw a shoulder on him.
No, the fun thing about watching Boss is he doesn't just run those tight end little short patterns. He runs 7 routes. He gets down the field.
McIntosh shaken up, has left the field. Here's Jacobs, another big hole. And Brandon Jacobs has another Giants first down.
This is such a nice job by Chris Snee, the guard. He's going to pull. Now, he's initially going to pull up into a different hole, but that one doesn't look good, or he thinks that there's a better opportunity to get outside. Right there, look at the field. That's great feet for a guard to be able to change your course just like a running back. Okay, the hole wasn't there. Let me bounce one more lane outside. Gets a good block on the linebacker. Brandon Jacobs is up inside.
He gained 11 from the Redskins 27. Manning complete. Derek Hagan down to the 20-yard line. Phillip Buchanan made the tackle. Gain of 7.
Well, the way that Washington is going to defend the passing game, I think, kind of plays right into the hands of what Eli Manning wanted to do. They're going to lock down Mario Manningham with D'Angelo Hall. That means that Phillip Buchanan is going to be one-on-one on the other side. So Jim Haslett's group out there may need to get some help over to number 31, because Eli Manning feels that they can make some plays against him in the passing game.
Redskins without 2 starters in the secondary. Carlos Rogers and LaRon Landry. Rocky McIntosh has checked back in. Bob Bradshaw in the backfield for the Giants. Second down and 3. Manning a pump fake. Now throws to the far side. Again, it's Hagan, and it's Buchanan who makes the tackle. Derek Hagan picks up 7 and a Giants first down.
And I like the thought process by Washington. You know, take away the weapons that they have. Right now they're struggling with this giant run game, but let's limit Mario Manningham. Let's see if Derek Hagan can be the guy. Well, right now, he's getting off to a good start here in the first quarter.
Travis Beckham also had a nice route. Another minute or two, he would have been wide open in the end zone.
Can't block for a minute or two, though, Goose.
Yeah. Oh, second
That's asking a lot of the guys up front.
You're right.
There's Bradshaw, cuts it back inside. And is taken down at the 7-yard line by Lorenzo Alexander.
I know that you'd be on the quarterback in you know, minute 5. You know, you'd be there by then.
Well, give me 2 minutes, please.
He stayed on Rich Gannon for about 3 minutes back in 2000 postseason.
Thanks, Kenny.
Finally let him back up.
He's never gonna stop the anger from the Raider Nation on you.
No.
That's why they won't ever give us one of those games. They don't want me going there.
2nd and 5. Here's Bradshaw. And Bradshaw is tackled at the 4-yard line by London Fletcher.
It seems like the Giants can just pick their poison right now, Darryl. They can run the ball, pass the ball. You know, they're just doing what they need to do and keeping this Redskins defense totally off balance. Right now, they have no feel just being down here on the field and watching these guys running for the ball.
Yeah, you can see right there, you know, how different the yardage production is right now. And again, we talked about it. This Washington defense, statistically, during the course of the season, the worst defense in the NFL. They have the potential to play well, but they're getting off to a really poor start this afternoon.
Javon Meredith checks in for the Giants. Number 79 is an extra blocker. Here's Bradshaw. And Ahmad Bradshaw reaches across for a Giants touchdown.
I know that the Washington Redskins are transitioning from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and there's going to be growing pains, but right now, it's just not good fundamental football. It's not guys that are in the wrong lane. It's guys that are running down the line of scrimmage. Maake Kimuwatu right there, number 96, the nose tackle. He needs to get down the line of scrimmage when he's free. He needs to decide whether he wants to play football or not, because it's a different defense with Albert Hainsworth in there.
Giants make it look easy. Touchdowns on their first 2 drives.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, let's build something together. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by The Tourist, starring Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp. In theaters Friday, rated PG-13.
Back at New Meadowlands Stadium, 14-0 lead for the Giants. For the second time in this first quarter, they drive 7 plays, 59 yards. And this time it's Ahmad Bradshaw who reaches the end zone. Brandon Jacobs with the first Giants touchdown.
We're starting to see who those guys are going to be that you asked about at the top, Tony, and not so much the passing game. I'm really surprised that the Giants are having as much success running the football as they are up until this point. They're making it look very, very easy.
Very easy.
We talk about it all the time. Stopping the run has a lot to do with want to. Right now, the Giant offense wants to run the ball a lot more than the Redskin defense wants to stop it.
This is Terrence Austin, not Brandon Banks. And Austin is tackled at the 20-yard line by the former Redskin, Devin Thomas. Ahmad Bradshaw celebrates his 6th touchdown of the season. In the wind at the Meadowlands, Giants lead 14-0.
Get it, get it, get it.
Come on, Mike. There you go. One of the judges trying to run over the paper. Trying to track it down a little bit.
By Judge Mike Spanier. Off the play fake, McNabb fires downfield. Intended for Santana Moss.
That's one of the things that this Giant defense is well aware of. They understand that the Redskin offense is built around the big play. Those guys up front, if you can get pressure with 4, this group is one of the few in the NFL that consistently get pressure with just their down 4. Now the next 7 guys can get back into coverage, and that really makes it difficult for Donovan McNabb to try and get something over the top.
Giants defense ranked 2nd in the NFL. James Davis, the former Cleveland Brown, in the backfield. On 2nd and 10, this is Davis. And and he picks up a first down. His first carry today, finally tackled after a gain of 13 by Terrell Thomas.
Well, it looks like all these big runs right here, we're seeing them on both sides, is a missed tackle. You know, you got him stopped right there. Justin Tuck had him and just got by him a little bit. So they got to come off the block and see Justin Tuck right there on the ground. Had a chance. You got to get your head across the front. Sometimes you're just going to have a shot like that. You got to try and slow him down, which he did, and somebody else got it down. So it's missed tackles right now that's making these big plays.
3 tight ends. The handoff to Davis up the middle. Out to the 37, gain of 4. Time for a game break. Once again, we check in with Kurt.
No surprise the Lions running the ball against Chicago with their third-team quarterback Drew Stanton in. The surprise is that Stanton's the one that's running it. 5-yard touchdown for Drew Stanton and 7-0 lead for the Lions over the Bears. Kenny Moose and Deuce.
You just wonder if there could be an emotional letdown by that Chicago Bear team after the big win against Philadelphia last week. You can see right there they took the lead in the NFC North. The Detroit Lions, I know their record's not great. And let's go back to week 1. They feel that their season probably went on a different path because of the results in Chicago. They've been waiting for that game.
McNabb on 2nd and 6 finds a wide open Anthony Armstrong. Armstrong in Giants territory. A 22-yard pass play and a late flag is thrown.
Little tripping.
Tripping, number 26, defense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
That's an Antrell roll. As we hear the boos come down from the crowd, Antrell not happy that the Giant fans were booing last week. And now he's the recipient following the tripping penalty.
Well, you know, you spend some of your career out in Arizona and you don't get a whole lot of anything from the fan base. So it's a little bit different here in the New Meadowlands than it is out in Arizona.
From the 30 on first down, this is Davis. The Redskins running back situation has been well chronicled. They've had 12 different backs on their roster, plus the practice squad. So they are down to James Davis and Keelan Williams here today.
We'll take a look at the previous play on Antrell roll. It is an obvious trip. You know, he came up, he's got his head down. Anthony Armstrong breaks back inside. The only thing he can do is stick his leg out and hope to get him down. Hey, Kenny, but that running back situation, it's something we'll keep an eye on during the course of the game. And I really like Mike Shanahan's explanation of why we're seeing this gentleman right here with an opportunity to carry the ball.
Davis tackled by Tuck after picking up 3. Clinton Portis, of course, on injured reserve. Redskins had Larry Johnson and Willie Parker during the preseason. Ryan Terrain ran well, but he is missing his 4th consecutive game.
And so with all those different changes, James Davis is going to get an opportunity because Mike Shanahan said the running back position is like the safety position. You really don't know what you have until you get him into the game. You can look at him at practice and you can see some skills and some athletic ability and maybe a little bit of vision, but until they're in a game situation, you do not know what you have.
Empty backfield with McNabb operating out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 4. Gets rid of it, and the pass incomplete. McNabb took a hit. Pass was intended for Roydell Williams, and the Redskins will send out the field goal unit.
Well, hopefully the pressure on McNabb impacted his vision. Justin Tuck's getting upfield. Here comes O.C. Umenyiora, but he had Anthony Armstrong wide open out in the flat. He's trying to go to Roydell Williams there on the inside curl, but he had Anthony Armstrong uncovered in the flat.
Yeah, they had that bunch off to the right-hand side. Armstrong went right out there. I saw the same thing, Darryl.
Here's Graham Gano from the left hash, 43-yard attempt, and it is wide to the left.
The wind pushed that ball right out.
One more look. Giants maintain their 2-touchdown lead. Late first quarter from New Meadowlands Stadium. Eli Manning and the Giants with touchdowns on their first 2 possessions following the missed field goal. Start from their own 33-yard line. Hand off to Ahmad Bradshaw. And Bradshaw Tackled by Phillip Daniels. Gains 1.
Well, we all know about David Beckham. Here's Travis Beckham doing his best imitation. Nice volley on that. I mean, that's with the wind and everything. It's a pink balloon, too.
That's all great till you pull a hammy kicking that thing, huh, Darryl?
Now, didn't we have it earlier? We had an incident earlier this season where wasn't there a defensive lineman doing some field goals pregame and ended up pulling a hammy, Goose?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I think we had a Green Bay game and one of their defensive linemen went down in pregame with a pulled hammy.
You gotta know your limitations.
Second down and 9. Here's Bradshaw. Good second effort. Ahmad Bradshaw down to the 42. Tom Coughlin told us on Friday, Ahmad gives us everything he's got. Loves to be pounded. Sometimes he should just go down.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody, I mean, pound for pound, his size, he's one of the most physical runners I've ever seen. I mean, just never stops. And, you know, some of the fumbling problems he's had this year, they're working on him carrying it high and tight like Tiki Barber did, but, you know, he's such a physical runner that sometimes that ball just comes off the body.
He's lost 5 fumbles this season. 3rd down and 2 from the 42-yard line. Inside handoff to Bradshaw. And he is stopped short. Reed Dowdy coming up to make the tackle.
Well, we saw earlier the pull by the guard, Rocky McIntosh, for the Redskins goes and meets the puller right in the hole, and that's what stops that last play. So I think that linebacking crew is keying on these guards now and expecting from the Giants those guards pulling around. So
yeah,
they're keying on it.
Yeah, that was such a much better defensive series than either of the first two for the Washington Redskins. Just from an execution and emotion, the pace of play, much better by the Redskins defense.
First quarter comes to an end. Giants lead 14-0. Giants lead the Redskins 14-0. Coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues with America's Game of the Week as the Cowboys take on Peyton Manning and the Colts. Some of you will see the Panthers and the Seahawks, or the Falcons and the Bucks. So 2 Manning brothers on Fox today.
Now look at that completion percentage, almost identical. Peyton a little bit more yardage, touchdowns close, and there's that interception situation again for Eli. But I'm not going to give him too much grief about that. Not all his fault. Wow, Matt Dodge, way to go.
Dodge has been inconsistent this season.
Wow.
A terrific punt. And it's the former Redskin, Devin Thomas, downfield. 53 yards on the punt by Dodge.
He went from boos to a standing ovation, guys. Less than 1 season. Look at that. There you go. I got it, people.
Take that. Inside the 5.
He was just waiting for December and the swirling winds.
Yeah, it's too warm and there's not enough wind in September and October.
They never remember the beginning of the season. It's always the end.
So Matt Dodge, rookie out of East Carolina, 7th-round draft pick, pinning the Redskins back at their own 5-yard line.
Well, he's got the whole crowd going crazy. How about that? How many punters can change the momentum in a building?
Down from the end zone, fires, and the catch is made by Armstrong for a Redskins first down. Out at the 23, Armstrong gains 18.
Well, I've seen a lot of communication in my day, Darryl, but I've never seen the whole defense standing up, waving their arms because they saw something from an offense. But you know, with the loud crowd, with the crowd noise the way it was, the defense did a nice job of communicating by flapping their arms. It's a first for me.
I thought they were waving at you in the end zone, Goose.
They were doing something.
From the 23 on first down, this is Davis. And a nice tackle from behind by the combination of Jonathan Goff and Antrell Roll.
Here you go right here. Watch the communication of the whole off defense right there. They see something. Instead of going and just yelling it out with the crowd noise that was happening, they went and gave some hand signals. You see that a lot from offenses, but defenses do the same thing.
That looked like your sack dance by Jonathan Goff.
Yeah, it did. He was flapping pretty good.
There's Perry Fuel, Giants' first-year defensive coordinator, who's done a terrific job. Second down and 11, off the fake to Davis. McNabb forced to get rid of it quickly to the tight end Logan Paulson. That is his first career reception. And Paulson is forced out of bounds by Michael Boley at the 31.
That's a smart play by Logan Paulson also, because really what he was supposed to do was block Justin Tuck. And Justin is very athletic. He went too low. Justin got right around him, got into Donovan McNabb's face. Just get up and get yourself into the view of your quarterback. It dumped it down to him. Everybody is going to drop him in coverage because they saw him on the ground in a blocking position.
Now 3rd down and 2. 3 wide receivers for the Redskins. The pitch to Keelan Williams. And Williams is tackled by Chris Canty, close to a first down.
As a rookie, you're so worried about making the big mistake, and right there Keelan Williams could have helped himself out a little bit by stretching that ball out as he gets towards that first down marker. But you're so worried about the turnover.
Williams does pick up the first, so the Redskins move the chains. And now James Davis checks back in, replacing Williams. 2 tight ends. McNabb on first down, looking for Chris Cooley. Corey Webster on the coverage.
One of the first times we've seen really kind of a short passing attack right here. You've got all your routes at about 5 yards, and it's one of the things you need to have in your game plan when you play the Giants. That ball needs to come out quick.
That's why the Giants used to struggle with Donovan McNabb, the guy you just saw right there, playing with the Eagles. A lot of those screen passes, short passes to the outside. That's why he's got such a good record against the Giants for so long, Darren.
Won his last 4, 2nd down and 10. Davis out to the 41-yard line. He gains 8.
I tell you right now, Tony, it was a little bit on that last drive, too, by this Washington Redskin offensive line. They're starting to get into a rhythm with this zone blocking scheme, getting a hat on a hat, moving their feet, and that's a nice read by James Davis to come out the backside.
Yeah, this Giants defense got to stop waiting for something to happen, go make something happen. Right now they're playing on the line of scrimmage instead of playing in the Washington Redskins backfield, and that's why you're able to go and see these backs cut to the outside. You got to penetrate.
3rd down and 2. McNabb down back at the 36-yard line. Again, it is Jason Pierre-Paul, his 2nd sack today.
Those long arms help, Darryl, when you go and rush a passer. Watch Jason Pierre-Paul come from the outside. He gives a nice club, and look at the reach. Wow. My arms, Darryl, Donovan McNabb would have still been running down the field, but those long arms that Pierre has helped him out.
End over end kick by Hunter Smith, and a fair catch called for at the 19-yard line by Darius Raynaud. So Pierre-Paul with his 2nd consecutive 2-sack game for the Giants.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars side by side at Autotrader.com. And by Prilosec OTC. Heartburn gone, power on.
We talked to some of the guys with the Giants, and they said they really haven't felt the wind at the new Meadowlands. The old Meadowlands had quite a reputation, but you can see it's shown itself a little bit this afternoon for the first time all season. Pylons down, goalpost wiggling.
Eli Manning told us over the first 6 home games less windy than the old stadium, but this is the first home game in December for the Giants. Off the play fake, Manning throws, and the catch is made at the 35-yard line, taken to the 36 by Derek Hagan, his 4th catch today, and he gains 17.
Eli Manning staying true to what he told us. He really feels that they could work against Phillip Buchanan. Get his hip turn, get him pushed, come out of your break clean and quick, and the ball is on you by Eli Manning.
Derek Hagan brought back by the Giants after the injuries suffered by Smith, Nix, Ramses Barden, placed on injured reserve, and he's done a nice job. From the 36-yard line, Manning throws to a wide-open Bear Pasco, And Pasco takes it out to the 45-yard line. His 6th reception this season for a gain of 9.
He's done a really nice job adjusting to his new role this season. They lost Madison Hedgecock, who was their fullback. Now, Bear Pasco did a little bit of that from the tight end spot, but more of kind of that in-between guy, the H-back. I mean, he's a big guy, 6'5". It's going to be hard to backfield play leverage against the linebackers, but I've been very impressed watching him on film playing that fullback spot, more of a true fullback than an H-back.
2nd down and 1. Brandon Jacobs picks up the 1st down with Pasco leading the way out to the 49-yard line.
You know, when you talk about Brandon Jacobs and you see him and the size of him, this is how he should be running, and this is how he is running. Watch how he gets the ball, goes, drives his legs. Watch how he keeps driving his legs. Boom. That's what you think of when you think of Brandon Jacobs. That's how he has to run. You see how he lowers his shoulder? Look at that, 2 guys. He needs to run like that every time, and he has been. That's why he's getting those big plays, keeping those big legs running.
From the 49-yard line is Jacobs again running hard. Jacobs looks to have a Giants 1st down. We asked Tom Coughlin about Brandon Jacobs on Friday. He said Brandon realized he was not running like he could, and with that last run, Brandon Jacobs becomes the 5th Giant in the history of the franchise to rush for 4,000 career yards.
You can see the afternoon he's got. Look at that, over 12 yards per carry. He's got that one big one, that 39-yarder on that opening drive. And I agree with you, Tony. If you let him get started early in the game, you've got to deal with him the entire game. If you can kind of bottle him up a little bit, he can get frustrated.
From the 41 off the fake to Bradshaw. Manning throws it again. It's Hagan. Derek Hagan. Another Giants 1st down. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Minnesota's Tavares Jackson and Sidney Rice hooked up for a game-tying touchdown against Buffalo. The Bills fumbled the kickoff, and Adrian Peterson made them pay. 2-yard touchdown run, and just like that, the Vikings are up 14-7 with Brett Favre still out with that shoulder injury. Can he move some dudes?
All right, Kurt. Brett Favre starting his 297th consecutive regular season game. Knocked out early. Peyton and Eli have the next 2 longest streaks among quarterbacks.
They got a ways to go, though.
Eli making his 99th consecutive start today. He finds Bear Pasco for a Giants 1st down.
Now here's your guy coming out of the backfield. It's Bear Pasco. He's the new physical blocker in the backfield. He does a nice job of just a real subtle move. Watch him as he comes here on Lorenzo Alexander. Just a little flinch there like he's going down. It freezes him for a second. That gives him the separation to get down the field. He is really adjusted to this position well. It is not an easy transition to go from being a guy who lines up on the line of scrimmage to a guy who has to play from the backfield.
Eli Manning 8 for 9. Hands it off to Bradshaw. And Bradshaw brought down at the 9-yard line by Philip Daniels.
I thought one of the points that Tom Coughlin made was very true when you talk about Ahmad Bradshaw and what's happened to him with his fumbles. The game is being played a different way in the NFL today. It's all about taking the ball away. And we remember a few years ago when he worked with Tiki Barber and how good Tiki got, and he's tried to do that with Ahmad. But he's actually gone to that high and tight where you get the ball up high, really in the center of your chest, up near your chin, and now into the contact area, actually bringing that other hand and putting it on. It's not the second guy that goes after the football anymore in the NFL. A lot of times it's that first time.
2 of Bradshaw's fumbles have come in the red zone this season. Here's Bradshaw. He spins inside the 5 and takes it down to the 4-yard line, close to another Giants 1st down.
Again, there's not a whole lot there on this play. A lot of this is Ahmad Bradshaw. He gets up into the hole. A chance right there, Philip Buchanan. Come on now.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to run by Ahmad Bradshaw, but he's got to cover that ball up, Darryl. We talked about the turnovers he had. That ball was out there. He had 3-4 guys on you. He got really lucky that he didn't go and lose the ball on that run.
Especially somebody who struggled with it, Tony. You would think that London Fletcher and his guys on that Redskin defense would really be going after that ball.
Giants again send in Meredith as an extra blocker. First and goal from the 4. Off the fake to Bradshaw. Manning to the end zone. It is intercepted by London Fletcher.
I tell you what, I thought we were going to get a flag for delayed game. We got on to 0-0 for a while. I bet you Eli Manning wishes there was a yellow flag on the field right now.
Tom Coughlin does as well.
Take a look at this play clock as it ticks down. Now you have to understand there's some mechanics that go along with this. You don't get the flag right at 0-0. You're going to get a little bit of time, so yeah, it's kind of that gray. You got 0.9 before you get to it. You know, it goes a little bit beyond. But the big question is, what was Eli Manning looking at on that throw?
Yeah, Kevin Boss had 3 defenders right in front of him. I was 2 yards from him. I couldn't believe that Eli threw that ball.
And now McNabb with pressure forced to throw it away. Interception by London Fletcher, 16th of his career. Giants lead the league in turnovers, and they've also committed a league-high 4 in goal-to-go situations.
You cannot give up points, and that's a great job by London Fletcher getting back in there and getting that interception. And I've talked, a couple times during the course of this game already about, I'm not going to give Eli a lot of grief on some of these interceptions, but that's one of the ones that's just, it's all on him. There's no reason for him to try and fit that ball in there at that spot on the field.
That's a critical play. That's a knockout punch, in my opinion, Darryl.
Redskins empty the backfield on 2nd and 10 as McNabb fires, and it's caught by the tight end Fred Davis. His first catch today, 18 yards and a Redskins first down.
In my opinion, Tony, the challenge coming in today was Washington carries a lot of their routes down the field. They're not throwing a lot of short passes. The screen game is not a big mix yet with this offense. Right. So you've got to hold that ball. And right now, this giant defensive line, which really is the catalyst for this whole team, is not getting to Donovan.
From the 38, McNabb hands off to Davis. Davis picks up 2 out to the 40 before he was tackled by Larry Cofield and Jonathan Goff.
A lot of if we're talking about the defensive line for the Giants, watch right here. Watch Rocky Bernard right in here on the ground. See the guys on the ground? If you want to go and shut somebody out, you can't stay on the ground. You can't get cut. You got to keep your hands on the guy who's blocking you, and you got to stay up on your feet, because that's what causes those cutback lanes, and that's what slows down the defensive lineman from getting pressure. You got to play on your feet as a defensive lineman.
Now it's 2nd down and 8. McNabb to Armstrong. And Anthony Armstrong is into Giants territory. Loses the football. And it's recovered by Keith Bullock.
That's the type of play that this defense needed to make. They've been kind of letting this game hang a little bit. That ball looked like it was coming out before Anthony Armstrong's knees were down. Yep. That's a fumble. Keith Bullock, he's going to be frustrated when he watches film tomorrow, because if he could have picked that ball up cleanly and kept his balance, there was a chance he was going to score a touchdown.
When we asked Tom Coughlin about the Giants leading the league in turnovers, he said, yeah, but we also have 24 takeaways.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Way too many turnovers.
Giants look to hurry to the line to keep the Redskins from challenging, and now Mike Shanahan does throw the red flag, but it looks like he's going to lose this one.
Yeah, I think he will. It looked like Anthony Armstrong's knees had not touched the ground before the ball came out.
But that's smarter than the Giants. Come out there, make believe like it's close enough, to go and challenge it and make the other team use one of their timeouts. That's a smart tactic by the Giants.
But delay of game, 59, defense, he kicked the ball after it was placed, ready for play. 5-yard penalty.
So perhaps London Fletcher kicked the ball to give Mike Shanahan a little more time to think about whether or not to challenge.
Absolutely.
The game inside the game.
Yeah, and you can see Tom Coughlin right before we went to that replay. Tom Coughlin was very upset.
That's a veteran move by London Fletcher, though. You got to make believe, like he didn't purposely hit it, but obviously he did.
Well, we've talked about the win here today.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field.
London Fletcher, 13-year veteran, won a Super Bowl with the Rams. He is flagged, and the Redskins challenge.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Gulliver's Travels. Christmas only in theaters.
Back at the Meadowlands, Redskins head coach Mike Shanahan has challenged the fumble. Whether or not it came out before Armstrong's knee hit down, we are going to bring in Mike Pereira from our Fox Command Center in Los Angeles. Mike, what did you see on that play?
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Catch, fumble, recovery by the Giants. First and 10. Denver will be charged. Washington will be charged with their first team timeout.
Yeah, you know, it's clearly a fumble. I think the bigger thing is London Fletcher. You know, if in fact he kicked that football to really keep the ball from being snapped, I really think what you're looking at here is the potential of an unsportsmanlike conduct. You know, it doesn't look like it was something that was really intentional for me, but pretty savvy move by a veteran there. But if in fact he did kick it, I think if the officials thought that, then they could make that an unsportsmanlike conduct call. The delay call will be penalized here because there was not a reversal, so they still would have that delay call that they made on the field.
And the ball is marched to the 34. Thanks, Mike. And Darryl, did you hear Walt Coleman initially say Denver will be charged with a timeout? Shanahan, of course, the longtime coach of the Broncos.
Everybody adjusting to Mike Shanahan being in Washington.
So the Redskins lose the challenge, lose a timeout. Giants take over. Here's Ahmad Bradshaw. And Bradshaw takes it down to the 31-yard line, gain of 3. Rocky McIntosh made the tackle. So the Giants turned it over. Manning picked off by Fletcher, and then the Redskins on the next possession give it right back.
But a good play by the Giant defense to force that turnover because Washington had really settled down after their first couple of possessions. It got to 14-0 very quickly. And all of a sudden, both the offense and the defense for Washington has kind of settled into this game. An opportunity here for the Giants to get another opportunity. And Tony, I agree with you. That was a knockout punch that they missed on that interception in the end zone on their last drive.
Yeah, going up 21-0. That would have been a killer for the Washington Redskins. We have another opportunity right here.
Derek Hagan ruled down at the 25 after the contact by Kevin Barnes. Gain of 7. Hagan has become Manning's go-to receiver today.
Well, he really put the hurting on Phillip Buchanan up until this point in the game, and right now we've got Kevin Barnes out there. I don't see Phillip Buchanan on the field in a nickel situation, so it seems as though a change may have been made because Derek Hagan was playing so well up until this point.
Hagan with 6 receptions, Manning 9 for 11. From the 25, the handoff to Bradshaw. And he's met by Reed Dowdy. No gain on the play.
This is a really nice job by Reed Dowdy because they've got the outside sealed. Watch as Ahmad Bradshaw gets to the outside. They've got it pinned, and here comes 37 right up there. And look at that tackle. That's how you do it. I mean, wrap the guy up. We see so many guys come in who just want to throw a shoulder and go for that big hit. That was really nice by Reed Dowdy. Just a good form tackle. Don't see a whole lot of those anymore.
Dowdy starting for the injured LaRon Landry. 2nd and 10 from the Redskins 25. Delayed, it's Bradshaw. Inside the 20, the 15, all the way down to the 10-yard line. 15 yards for Bradshaw. And a Giants first down. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning here at the Meadowlands. Giants with touchdowns on their first 2 drives lead the Redskins 14-0. 2 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. Giants lead the Redskins 14-0. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. And the Saints keep on winning. And can the Packers rebound?
We got to get a leather helmet for that guy right there. He's old school. Look at the eye black. You know, that's none of those stick-on things anymore. That might even be burnt cork, like we used to do it when we were
old
little kids.
days, bro. The old throwback days. That guy remembers.
Giants hope to add to their lead. 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Here's Bradshaw. And Ahmad Bradshaw has his 2nd touchdown today.
Nice run by Ahmad Bradshaw. There he goes, right to the right-hand side. Good lead block by Bear Pasco. I'll tell you what, one thing he does have to work on, this dance. This isn't cutting it here.
You can teach him a thing or two, Goose.
Yeah, let me see this dance again, please.
Do the I don't know, Goose.
Yeah,
you got to teach him the I don't know.
That's like a half an icky shuffle. We got to do something with that. I'll talk to him, Darryl.
I'll go back and take a look at this touchdown, and I tell you, there's just so many things that went wrong for this Washington defense. Number one, no push by the nose tackle. Then you got both linebackers coming this side. You leave Reed Dowdy in the hole to make the tackle, and he's got to take on Big Bear Pasco. There's nobody there. I mean, Maake Kimoyatu has got to start getting some penetration, some movement, something. I mean, the guard center guard area for the Giant offensive line is just dominating him inside.
Okay, the problem is they're not getting off the blocks. The defensive line for the Redskins are just hugging onto the blocks, and it's letting those guards get to the second level, and there's just gaps everywhere, I'll tell you, Darryl.
Giants congratulate Brian Jackson after his tackle of Brandon Banks.
That caught Brandon Banks in no man's land. Didn't know what to do. Bang.
Jackson in training camp with the Jets. And signed by the Giants during the first month of the season.
Tell you what, watching Brandon Banks, he must have a lot of heart, man. He's got to be a tough kid because he is not big at all, Darryl. I talked to him a little bit before the game also. He's got a big heart, that guy.
He stands 5'7". Weighs 150 pounds as Cooley picks up a first down out at the 34-yard line.
When was the last time you weighed 150 pounds, Darryl?
8th grade.
Nah, not even. I bet you it's 6th grade.
Nah, it was. I remember I had to play the Pop Warner football with the weight restrictions.
Oh yeah.
So 8th and 9th grade was my big growing spurt.
And we asked Mike Shanahan about Banks yesterday. He said every way, and he's consistent between 148 and 151.
We were hoping they were fudging it. Maybe it was 159, 160.
Not any lower, not any higher. McNabb fires, and Deion Grant on the coverage. Chris Cooley, the intended receiver.
That's a good job by Deion Grant, reading the eyes of Chris Cooley, because he's got his back to the ball the entire play. And he was able to see something in the expression from Chris Cooley that the ball was coming in. Watch. Gets that hand up right there, right into the area where Chris is going to make this catch. They've thrown it over his shoulder, and he gets it in and knocks it out.
2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line. Redskins trail the Giants 21-0. Nab, screen to Williams, and it did not fool Barry Cofield.
We've been waiting for that screen, Darryl. I'll tell you what, that's something that Donovan knows so well, is that screen. But they got to do a better job of getting those offensive linemen on some of those defenders to go and make it effective so they can get downfield a little bit and get some yardage.
The one guy you got to block on a screen is 96, Barry Cofield. He's great at reading them inside.
3rd down and 9. McNabb to Cooley, and Cooley is close to a first down. That is the 400th catch of his career, his 3rd reception today, and Cooley did in fact pick up a Redskins first down. Under a minute to go, first half. Redskins with 2 timeouts from their own 44. McNabb to Armstrong, out at midfield for a gain of 6. And now the Redskins will use their 2nd timeout, stop the clock with 43 seconds remaining.
The New York Giants got off to a great start, and it was the running game that really keyed everything that they were doing. Brandon Jacobs, a nice feel right there. Good block by Travis Beckham coming in on the backside. And then the next 2 by Ahmad Bradshaw. That's good effort right there. This was just great blocking by his offensive line up front. But the Washington Redskins came into this game with a plan defensively. We're going to lock down Mario Manningham with D'Angelo Hall. We're going to stack the box with 8 and not let the Giant running game beat us. And we're going to challenge one of the other receivers to make their plays on the outside. Well, the running game has not missed a beat for the Giants. They're doing a great job. You can see the stats there from Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. And Derek Hagan has put Philip Buchanan on the bench. He's played so well in the first half.
Manningham does not have a catch. Hagan has 6. McNabb on 2nd and 4, and a diving attempt is made by Armstrong.
He almost made a heck of a catch. One of the things that Anthony Armstrong will learn is to just flatten that out a little bit more. He's still kind of drifting upfield. That's a tough angle for Donovan McNabb to throw that on. He's got Terrell Thomas right on his hip. But if he can just flatten that out, get a little bit more separation, and give that quarterback a better angle with the ball in, might make that catch a little bit easier.
Now 3rd down and 4. Santana ball split to the left. Armstrong in the slot. McNabb out of the shotgun. Redskins must get to the Giants' 46. Pass is high, intended for Moss, and then nearly picked off by Thomas. So with 32 seconds remaining in the half, Redskins will punt.
Just a little bit high right there.
He wanted a little bit extra.
I love the positions of the arms. First they were over the head, then they were straight out, and then they were down by his knees.
First he signaled touchdown. Here's Hunter Smith, who was actually brought in for a look-see by the Giants earlier this season when Dodge was struggling. And it rolls out of bounds at the 17-yard line. 22 seconds remaining in the half. Visa halftime report is coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Can the Saints keep on winning? Can the Packers rebound? Green Bay in 2nd place in the NFC North. Donovan McNabb very happy that Michael retired following the Giants Super Bowl win, because Michael Strahan sacked Donovan McNabb 13.5 times more than any other defensive player.
Some great games between the Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles when Donovan McNabb was there.
Of course, Osi Umenyiora once sacked McNabb 6 times in one game. Eli takes a knee, and the Giants will take a 21-point lead into the locker room at halftime. No booze at halftime today on Troll Roll. And no need for a halftime speech from Justin Tuck or Osi Umenyiora. There's Antrell. He's smiling. The Visa halftime report is coming up next. Back at the Meadowlands, follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Giants lead the Redskins 21-0 as we get set for the second half. Kenny Albert with Darryl Johnston. All Giants in the first half, Darryl. They scored on their first 2 drives and have not looked back.
Well, the Washington Redskins had a plan in place for them defensively, and the Giants did a great job of executing against that. They're going to take Mario Manningham out of the game plan by putting D'Angelo Hall on them, put an 8th guy into the box and challenge that Giants running game, and then leave the other playmakers to try and do something. Well, Eli Manning felt that he could have success against Philip Buchanan. Derek Hagan had a great first half with 6 catches. Ahmad Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs got it started in that running game, and it's really just taking control. So you come in the first half, you've got this plan. Well, guess what? They just destroyed our plan. So what do we do next? Well, we'll find out here in the second half.
Big 39-yard run by Jacobs led to the first Giants touchdown. Bradshaw scored on the next possession. Eli Manning, 9 of 11. Very efficient. Donovan McNabb on the other side, 10 of 17. Each team committed 1 turnover. And the Redskins will receive the second half kickoff. Again, a short kick by Tynes, scooped up by Mike Sellers, as the Giants once again keep it away from Brandon Banks.
Yeah?
Darryl, let me tell you something. That was a nice scarf. What was that? Was that blue?
It's blue and green and brown.
Yeah, I got a yellow one. They gave him out here. You know, you come to Giants Stadium, they give you all kinds of stuff. Mine says caution on it, though. I got a caution. I don't know where they got that. Look at this.
Goose those people here in New Jersey.
Yeah, caution tape.
Caution, keep hands away from mouth.
Where can I get one of those, Tony?
I'll get you one, Kenny.
Redskins start from their own 34. McNabb's pass cannot be hauled in by Chris Cooley. who had 3 receptions, including the 400th of his career in the first half.
Well, I mean, the first 2 possessions of this game really were what changed the whole complexion. I mean, the Giants just absolutely dominated. At one point, we had 112 total yards to -1 for the Redskins. So you can see there where the Redskins came back from, 136 yards. From that point, moving forward, they settled down. They were able to get some things going. We'll have to see if they can pick it up. Obviously, a 21-0 hole. I agree with what the guys said at halftime. This plays right into the strength of the New York Giants defense.
Pass is bobbled and dropped by Fred Davis. Redskins, for the most part, have played close games this year. 8 of their games decided by 6 points or less, and now a late flag is thrown.
Donovan had plenty of time on that. His offensive line did a great job of holding up that defense.
Prior to pass, holding 21, number on the defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's on Kenny Phillips.
Working with Chris Cooley right there, number 47. Even though he was holding, if Donovan had some time, that was where the ball should have gone to.
So an automatic first down for the Redskins from their own 39-yard line. Davis in the backfield, and he takes the handoff from McNabb. Takes it up the middle. Gain of 4. We were talking about the Redskins and their close games. Really, aside from the Philadelphia game 3 weeks ago, the 59-28 loss. In fact, as Tom Coughlin pointed out to us, the average score of the Redskin wins just 16-12.
Well, they find a way to win, and I think a lot of us go by perception. We had a little bit of this with Chicago when we had them last week. Everybody remembers what the Giant defense did to that Chicago Bears offense. The same thing true about this Redskin team. A lot of people remember what Michael Vick and that offense did to this team. They embarrassed them in the national spotlight. So there's a lot they have to do to fight back from that. They've been very, very inconsistent during the course of the season. You mentioned some of their victories at the top against some good teams: Green Bay, Philadelphia, Chicago, and yet they get beat handily by the St. Louis Rams. Detroit beats them pretty handily, in my opinion. So they've been very, very inconsistent.
Wins on the road at Philadelphia, at Chicago. They beat Green Bay in overtime back in October. Tom Coughlin imploring the crowd to make some noise. 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins. Everybody out for Washington. McNabb gets rid of it, and it is nearly intercepted by Terrell Thomas.
Well, that ball was right in Terrell Thomas's hands.
Or excuse me, Deion Grant.
Donovan has plenty of time, little window right there. Boom, tries to dump the ball off. Deion Grant couldn't have been in a better spot for him. I think he saw that green in front of him, Dal. He's thinking a little bit ahead of himself.
Grant already with 3 picks this year. Thought he had his 4th. Hunter Smith punt. Bounces out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By GMC, it's the GMC holiday event. Get the job done right this season with a GMC Sierra. And by Pizza Hut, your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut.
Giants take over from their own 23-yard line, leading the Redskins 21-0. Brandon Jacobs in the backfield. Off the play fake to Jacobs. Manning steps up. A shovel pass intended for Jacobs. London Fletcher on the coverage.
That's the first time we've seen that, Tony. Really, I mean, Eli's been able to stand back in that pocket. Really, the success of the running game has allowed that, but that's the first time the Redskins have really made him move around.
Yeah, that's the first time they collapsed the pocket.
No sacks yet today for the Redskins, and Eli has not been sacked over the last 4 games, plus the first half today.
Chance to set a franchise record today by this patched-up Giant offensive line.
Second down to 10. Here's Jacobs. Now, when we talked with Jim Haslett, the Redskins defensive coordinator, he gave a lot of credit to the Giants offensive line coach, Pat Flaherty, for the job that he's done. Giants have used 5 different starting combinations on their offensive line.
Well, we've raved about this Giant offensive line for years now, but it's always been that starting five. They were always able to stay healthy, and that will make Pat Flaherty's job very, very easy. This has been one of those seasons where it's been very difficult. There's Dave Deal and Sean O'Hara right there on the side, and he has done a fantastic job. And I've always felt that the Giant offensive line, not a lot of great individual players, but a great group together. And I think a lot of that credit has to go to Pat Flaherty and what he does as a position coach.
Full start, 82, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
You're right, Goose, that's on Manningham. So this will force the Giants back 5 yards. It's only the 4th time the Giants have even gone to a third down in today's game.
He must have got that from his brother Eli, or Peyton. Peyton told us, you know, I don't care how good we are on third down. We don't wait till third down. I want to get first down on first down and second down.
Peyton and the Colts will take on the Cowboys in America's Game of the Week on Fox following this one. Nice snap. Giants must get to the 33. Eli hit as he throws, and there is a flag. Flag back at the 12-yard line.
I thought Eli got somebody with his cadence. I'm surprised that somebody wasn't in the neutral zone.
Yeah, me too.
Holding, number 65, offense, that penalty's declined, 4th down.
Really surprised there wasn't an offsides on the Washington Redskins. That hard count. I mean, down here on the field, it almost made me jump. Boom, see it, cross him, but it looks like the guys got back before the ball was snapped.
Instead, it's the left tackle, William Beatty, who is called for the hold. Penalty decline. There's Brandon Banks. Back deep for the Redskins. Dodge punting for only the 2nd time. His first kick was terrific. 53 yards, pinning the Redskins at their own 5-yard line. This one angled away from Banks and will be down by Michael Coe at the 38-yard line. A 43-yard punt by Dodge.
Well, the coaching never stops. Will Beatty just got called for the holding, so there's Pat Flaherty trying to give him some help on the sideline when he gets back over there, and you know, maybe trying to teach him how to hold the right way, Goose.
He's telling him how long you can hold for, and then you have to let him go, which is smart.
Now the Redskins start from their own 38. Mike Sellers started to run before he gained control.
Mike Sellers, Darryl, was wide open. Just could not bring that ball in. Take a look.
Wide open with a head of steam.
I'll tell you what, he's running. Look at Mike Sellers. Got everybody beat. Nobody around him. Just cannot wrap it in.
He's got good hands too, Goose. He's made that catch a ton of times during the course of games.
Another fullback drops the ball.
Man, God, yeah, what is this about? What happened at halftime? Holy cow.
First the caution tape, but now
scarf. Now the position itself is bold.
McNabb gets rid of it quickly to Chris Cooley. And Cooley is come down at the 41-yard line by Kenny Phillips after a gain of 3.
Chris Cooley ran a long way for 3 yards, didn't he? Does a nice job of going outside, getting the ball, but he's running laterally. You got to get upfield. Changes the ball in his hands, but man, I thought that would have been a lot more than 3 yards.
He gained only 3, so the Redskins now facing 3rd down and 7.
Jason Pierre-Paul
already with 2 sacks today.
Exactly where the Giants want to be. Here's pinned back. Here they come.
Ball is still loose. Oh! And it looks like the Redskins recover. Stephon Heyer. So it's not Pierre-Paul, but it is O.C. Umenyiora. We mentioned that 6-sack game by O.C. of McNabb back in 2007.
Well, if you're going to give up a sack fumble, you better make sure you get the recovery. Stephon Heyer is beat right away. Deion Grant has a chance to get it for the Giants and misses it.
That's O.C.'s 11th career sack of McNabb, second only to Michael Strahan. Great nod. Nowhere to go. Takes it out to the 23. Umenyiora celebrates. Giants have the ball back.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
There's OCU Manura with a sack of Donovan McNabb a moment ago.
He just beat Stefan Heyer immediately. I mean, Stefan Heyer was so late getting out of his stance.
Justin Tuck on his left, the two guys who made the passionate speeches at halftime last week prior to the Giants' comeback against Jacksonville.
And that was huge because offensively and special teams, they were playing all right, but it was the defense that just had a tough first half.
Bradshaw getting a yard on first down. And some extracurricular activity.
All right, Goose, I followed your lead. I'm going with the
Nice.
stylish caution tape.
I like that. I
Caution
like
tape scarf.
You know they have an ear warmer too, Daryl.
It's a little scratchy though.
Yeah.
Classic. It's cold.
Yeah. Covers the ears. I mean, really, it's multi-purpose.
You look like some guy from the 80s in a disco right now. Some 80s hairband.
With the oh man.
What am I going to do with these guys? Second down and 9. Eli calls timeout.
First, team timeout. Giants.
Eli will head over to the sidelines for some caution tape of his own. Hardy's got some. Giants with a win today, pulling to a tie for first place with Philadelphia. Eli Manning, 9 of 13. 6 of his 9 completions have gone to Derek Hagan. Brandon Jacobs, 75 yards on the ground. Giants with 141 rushing yards today.
Yeah, Mark Bradshaw's got 67 of his own.
Second down and 8. Off the fake to Bradshaw. Manning rolling right, and the pass is dropped. All right, Bear Pasco, Goose. Another fullback slash tight end drops one.
Come on, pile on, Goose.
Yeah, Pasco does a nice job of, chipping out of the backfield. Gets a little bit of a block, and boom, stone hands again. I know it's cold out here, but you got to catch that ball.
Again? What do you mean again?
A lot of guys dropping balls out there.
Fred Davis, Mike Sellers, now Bear Pasco. Third down and 8.
On the outside, trying to look like he's coming. Here he comes.
Manning throws, and it's caught by Boss. And then he was upended by Kareem Moore. Stopped a yard shy of the first down marker.
I tell you, Kevin Boss never really gets a clean catch and run. Very rarely. He made a nice move last week in that Jacksonville game. A little bit of pressure there from Rocky McIntosh. Slides over. Now here he comes. I mean, the end of his catches are just always like painful looking.
He's such a big target. That's why, man. I mean, he's tall, he's big. Everybody sees him out there, not only Eli.
His brother's a soccer goalkeeper. He's worked with Kevin on how to properly hit the ground. And overhead punt taken at the 24 by Banks. And Banks is angled out of bounds. So the Redskins trailing 21-0. Looking to get something going on offense.
There's one thing missing from that picture right now. There should be some steam coming off of Maake's head. Well, there's some rolls in the back.
What is that? What is that in the back there? It's a big man right there. Hemo.
On the other side, two good friends, Ahmad Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs. Tom Coughlin told us that Jacobs was very concerned about Bradshaw after Jacobs was named the starter last week. Spent a lot of time together off the field. McNabb with loads of time, and he dumps it off on the check down to James Davis. Gains 8 out to the 44-yard line. Well, it's the first ever American Country Awards, hosted by Trace Adkins with over 15 performances from country music's biggest stars. It's the only country music award show where you vote for the winner. The American Country Awards, live tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, only on Fox. Don't miss it, Goose.
I'll be watching that. I like country music now.
Second down and 2.
Me and Terry Bradshaw.
There you go. Off the fake to Davis. McNabb Could have run for the first down. He hesitated. Now he does. And he's knocked down by Dave Tollefson. Ball comes loose. It's scooped up by Corey Webster, who lost his helmet.
Look at this. No helmet. I don't think that was a slide at all by Donovan McNabb. It sort of was a half a slide.
Recovery by the Giants. The Giants runner's helmet came off. They put him down by contact. First down, Giants.
Now what happened on that play, Goose, is it's your traditional bootleg where you've got everybody coming across in tiered routes. But Donovan was waiting for the throwback to the other side. And that was late developing. So then he tries to decide and run with it. And Dave Tollefson just comes in, knocks it loose. And I do like this new rule with the unprotected player. Once that helmet comes off, that the play is stopped, because these guys are so competitive today.
Dave Tollefson, you see on that play too, does a nice job of covering up Donovan McNabb so he can't go and get the ball back. Wow.
We're going to challenge it. Now they're going to say it was a fumble. A fumble challenge.
Fumble by McNabb and then a fumble by Shanahan. Second Washington turnover, and there is the first reception of this game for Mario Manningham.
That's a good job of just hanging in there all afternoon long, waiting for your opportunity, and then finishing the play, because D'Angelo Hall really goes for the strip at the top of this catch. There's the catch. Now I'm coming in. I'm going right after the ball. Good job by Mario Manningham on his first catch of the day.
Eric Hagan with 6 receptions. There's Manningham matched up with D'Angelo Hall. From the 33-yard line, Manning looking for Manningham once again.
So you got that turnover right in front of the Redskins bench, and you're trying to decide whether you want to challenge it or not. So then he's about to challenge it. I think I'm going to call that it was knocked out of my hand. I didn't actually throw it. So you get the word from above. You've got people upstairs that are checking all the replays to see whether you should throw that challenge flag or not.
And remember, Michael already lost a challenge earlier, so he only has one more in his pocket. Game clock at 3. Manning on 2nd and 10. And it's nearly picked off by London Fletcher, who had one earlier, and there is a flag thrown from the defensive secondary.
Prior to the pass, holding number 59, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on Fletcher.
Well, you can see why London Fletcher was in such good position to try and make that interception. A little hook and tug on Kevin Boss. Got him in position underneath that route.
Everybody knows about Brett Favre's streak. Fletcher playing in his 204th straight game among all active players. That is second behind Brett Favre. It's also his 163rd consecutive start. He's had a terrific career. Here's Brandon Jacobs. Jacobs cuts to his right, and he will take it in for his second touchdown today.
Well, Reed Dougherty totally misses the tackle on Brandon Jacobs. Brandon does a great job of getting to the outside and finding the end zone.
That was a good job by Brandon, though, because here comes the pressure. The pressure's going to be coming right here, right into the face of the play. Watch the patience to come through the back door. It's Kevin Barnes, who's in the game because Philip Buchanan is out. And, that's just a huge size disadvantage for Kevin Barnes, but he's got to do his job. You got to come up and you got to wrap him up. You can't go that low on Brandon Jacobs and think you're going to slow him down at all. That whole defense is built around everybody having their area. Reed Doughty misses later. Kevin Barnes missed him first.
Brandon Jacobs with his second touchdown today. Well, NASCAR season may be over, but Fox is already revving up for another exciting year, and it all begins this February with the running of the Great American Race live from the Daytona International Speedway. It's the Daytona 500 this February, only on Fox. Brandon Jacobs and the Giants off to the races today.
They sure they came off the starting line and have just not slowed down at all. You can just see the frustration on Washington's sideline. Brian Arakpo. This has been a very, very difficult season, and today has been one of their poorer performances. That's just a lot of frustration from really one of the key guys. If Washington's going to get this thing started off on the right foot in the second year of Mike Shanahan's tenure.
Here's Brandon Banks. And he is hit hard at the 27-yard line by Deion Grant.
This may be the best job of tackling that I have seen by the Giants, the games that we've had this season, or even seeing them on film. This is Brandon Banks. This is one of the more explosive guys in the NFL, and that is as good as you can do it. We have seen 3 or 4 textbook form tackles by this New York Giants defense and special teams today.
A good day for the Giants in all 3 phases. Tom Quinn, their special teams coach, of course. Matt Dodge with a great 53-yard punt earlier, and the tackling on special teams has been tremendous. McNabb to Davis. James Davis picks up a first down and more. He's into Giants territory. And finally forced out of bounds at the 44 as we check in with Kurt.
Green Bay and San Francisco, and it's been a while since we mentioned this combination. Aaron Rodgers hooking up with Donald Driver. Talk about your second effort. Stays on his feet and fights his way into the end zone. 61 yards on the score. Driver's first touchdown since week 4, and it gives the Packers an 8-point lead in the third quarter. Kenny Moose and Deuce.
Actually, good to see Donald Driver back. He's been fighting a quad injury for a while now.
This goes to show you it ain't the uniform, it's the player. Those uniforms are horrendous, I think.
And Green Bay's got some of the coolest uniforms in the league today. Woof. Ooh, that was old.
McNabb fires. Armstrong makes the catch at the 35-yard line. Gain of 9.
Well, this is exactly the situation that the New York Giants defense line wants to be in. You're up by 28 points. You know that he's going to be throwing the ball. Pin your ears back and come. And right now, the guys aren't. They're on the line of scrimmage. They're getting stonewalled a little bit and giving Donovan McNabb a lot of time to look downfield and find his receivers like Anthony Armstrong.
On second down and 1, this is Keelan Williams. And Williams picks up a first down to the Giants' 32. Dave Tollefson made the tackle as we approach 5 minutes remaining, third quarter from New Meadowlands Stadium. Giants with a 28-0 lead.
James Davis coming in right now, and he had the big screen play earlier in this drive. And Mike Shanahan wanted to see what he had in him as a running back on the field. The one thing you can see, he's got tremendous speed. I think really what Mike Shanahan is looking at is how does he set up his blocks, how does he read his blocks in the zone blocking scheme in the running game.
Off the fake to Davis. McNabb fires, wide open, Armstrong, touchdown.
Way too easy. Not against that guy. Donovan McNabb is too much of a veteran player. He's never going to be nervous about any situation he's in. And Tony just talked about this. I mean, these plays, look at how far Anthony Armstrong is coming across the field. You have to be able to have your quarterback in the pocket for a while to allow that play to develop. So again, the offensive line in a situation that should play right into the hands of the Giants, the Redskins give Donovan McNabb plenty of time.
Big plays, that's how the Redskins will beat you.
33 yards from McNabb to Armstrong. His second touchdown reception of the season. Gano the extra point, and the Redskins are on the scoreboard. Two Super Bowl winning head coaches. Tom Coughlin, of course, winning with the Giants back in 2007. Mike Shanahan with a couple of championships back-to-back in Denver.
I really enjoyed talking to Coach Shanahan yesterday, too. I haven't had the opportunity to speak with him prior to yesterday, and was really impressed with his plan and his vision for what he wants to do moving forward with the Washington Redskins. And there's going to be some growing pains. There's a lot of different things that they're doing. It's a team that's got a lot of older guys on the roster. There's going to be a tremendous amount of transition. There's 24 new guys this year, so it's going to continue to evolve. But I like the plan. I like what he's put in place right now. Jim Haslett's one of my favorite guys when you talk about a coordinator who's a lot of fun, and again, they've got to get the right people in place for that defense.
And, you know, we've been talking about Albert Hainsworth, and he is inactive once again today, and he's been a big question mark throughout this season, ever since Mike Shanahan arrived.
Well, they've been butting heads since day one when Albert couldn't pass the conditioning test, and that was a pretty difficult conditioning test that he was expected to pass. But as a professional athlete, and especially one who's the highest paid defensive player in the league, you should be able to pass that. But they've gotten off on the wrong foot. I think the relationship is irreparable. I think that they have to part ways.
Ware on the return for the Giants. Rumors earlier this season that Tennessee might be interested in bringing back Hainsworth, but of course that did not happen.
Well, you can't. You got to be out there and play. I mean, you just can't. And you know, he's supposed to be sick, but he's on the sideline today with him, so he's not so sick that he can't, you know, be on the field with his guys on the sideline. I don't understand it, because when Albert Hainsworth wants to play football, he's one of the most dominant inside guys in the NFL.
But you said it right, Darryl. It's when he wants to play football. It shouldn't be that way. You should want to play all the time. It shouldn't matter how much money you make or what, you know, any of that kind of business. You got to go out there. You got to love the game or do something else. I mean, you can't go out there and set an example to all the other guys on the team and let all the other guys on the team down by, you know, not practicing this week on Thursday, not practicing on Friday, coming in, and the coach is thinking that, you know, your attitude, okay, is better if you're not in the game today for the team than you being out there. And I don't think this is a good team without Albert Hainsworth on the defensive line. But obviously they're having issues with him, with his personality, with who he is when he is out there and bringing the whole team down. So you're right. I think that they do have to part ways, and hopefully there's somebody out there that thinks that they can go and change Albert. But I don't know how many takers you're really going to get.
Second down and 9 for the Giants from the 21. As Manning is under pressure, he throws, and the catch is made by Derek Hagan, who's having a terrific day. Hagan's 7th reception.
All right, we got to go back. We showed this little tutorial on the sideline earlier. All right, here's Will Beatty, the tackle. Remember Coach Flaherty showing him how to do this in situations, or you get the hand there, and then you just keep working. Don't tug him. Get the other hand out. I mean, that is unbelievable to take that from the sideline out onto the game field just a couple series later and do exactly what you were coached to do. That play, he doesn't get the flag. The one prior to it that Coach Flaherty was talking to him about, he got called for holding.
Well, he did a great job of keeping his feet moving and putting his body in front of it also.
Here's Bradshaw. Beatty making only a second start at left tackle. He was a second-round pick last year out of UConn, and this was earlier today with O-line coach Pat Flaherty.
Yeah, tell me if you don't see something exactly like you just saw on that last snap. Okay, you're there. Now get that hand up. He's moving there. Now move your feet. Get that other hand up in the air like that. And just get your hands spread out. I mean, that was awesome. And there he goes.
That's called being coachable.
Wow.
Quick learner. Giants without David Deal, Sean O'Hara, Sean Andrews. Andrews did a terrific job when he was healthy. Second down and 8. And the pass is low. There are 2 flags.
Okay, now it didn't quite sink in for Will Beatty.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
It worked for one play.
That was a flop.
Oh, boy.
Let's see.
Holding, 65, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
You mushed him, Darryl. You mushed him. Let's watch him right here. He comes out.
I gotta get
he gets the rip.
Right. And then what did he tell me to do? Pull him down?
Yeah.
No, get my hands away from him.
He didn't sell it good enough. You can't do this. You got to keep your feet. That's what we're talking about. See how he goes down to his knee? If he goes and follows him down and puts his hips in front of him and his body, he won't have his arms sticking out so far, and he won't get that holding call.
I think he was reading his clippings.
He's waiting on the coach Pat Flaherty offensive tackle blocking 201. He just went through the 101 series.
We'll keep our eyes on Beatty. Now second down and 18. And he gets rid of it quickly. Buchanan on the coverage. Pass intended for Michael Clayton. Another receiver brought in by the Giants prior to the Jacksonville game last week. We haven't seen much of Clayton today, the former first-round draft pick of Tampa Bay, played in the UFL this season. There's Jim Haslett, who coached in the UFL last year.
And one of the challenges that Eli has in the passing game, and I think that Derek Hagan is probably a little bit farther ahead than these other guys when you talk about Michael Clayton and Devin Thomas, is what happens at the top of the routes. It really impacts the game plan that Kevin Gilbride has to call. There can't be any adjustments at the top of the routes. They just have to be straight out pass route situations. Hey, you run a go, you run a corner, you run the hook.
False start, number 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Will Beatty just trying to get back, get himself a little bit help, a little bit more time to get his hands inside, and rocks back a little bit early and gets the call on him.
And there's Kevin Gilbride right there. He's the offensive coordinator for the Giants, and he's had to scale this down a little bit, and he has to go with play calls that are safe. You can't get too elaborate in what you're doing because you've got the wide receivers that aren't going to understand exactly what you're doing from a game plan situation because they've only been here a couple of weeks.
3rd and 23. A punt's not a bad deal. Dump the ball off perfect.
It's a screen to Bradshaw. And now the Giants will punt.
Derek Hagan was the wild card going into this situation today with the game plan. They knew that Mario Manningham was going to get D'Angelo Hall one-on-one all day. Now it was a question of, okay, where else do we go? Is it going to be Kevin Boss? Is it going to be Travis Beckham? Well, this afternoon, it ended up being Derek Hagan, who did a great job against Phillip Buchanan in that first half. Actually forced Phillip onto the sideline.
Dodds with an end-over-end kick taken at the 34 by Banks. Brandon Banks across midfield. Out of bounds at the Giants' 46. His best return today, 19 yards. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week. Following the Giants and the Redskins, it will be the Dallas Cowboys and the Indianapolis Colts, who entered play today, tied atop the AFC South at 6-5 with Jacksonville. Some of you will see the Panthers and Seahawks and the Falcons and the Bucs. Jaguars lead the Titans in the fourth quarter, 17-6. So with a victory, Jacksonville would pull a half game ahead of Indianapolis.
Tony and I were talking about that game. Peyton Manning coming off a 4-interception game last week, but the Dallas Cowboys 10 days of rest to get ready for the Indianapolis Colts. Going to be a great one.
Cowboys last game that lost to the Saints. Looked like the Cowboys had the game in hand, and then a great strip of Roy Williams,
which actually became a teaching tool for Tom Coughlin. And really the point to Ahmad Bradshaw, here's how the game is being played today. Guys are going after the football, the first guy in. So in that game with Dallas against New Orleans, he opened up the meeting the next day showing that play where Roy Williams was stripped going in to really secure the game for the Dallas Cowboys.
Instead it was Malcolm Jenkins with the play of the day. And the Saints would win for the 8th time this season. Second down and 5, inside handoff to Keelan Williams. And Williams takes it down to the 38-yard line, gain of 3.
Tell you what, Keelan Williams was hit at the line of scrimmage, but he got another maybe 2 or 3 yards after he was hit, that hidden yardage. Nice job of him driving his legs and getting that extra yardage. Getting him to 3rd and 2.
Time winding down in this third quarter. There's Ahmad Bradshaw, has 2 touchdowns for the Giants today. And the play is blown dead. Looks like it's against the Redskins.
Number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It's the left tackle, Stephon Heyer. He's been alternating today with Trent Williams, who has a bit of a shoulder issue.
Just a little bit of flinch right there.
So 3rd and 2 becomes 3rd and 7. Teams will switch sides. 3 quarters in the books from the new Meadowlands Stadium. Giants lead the Redskins 28-7. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages. Giants take a 28-7 lead into the fourth quarter. Eagles 8-4. Giants 7-4. They will play each other in 2 weeks here at the Meadowlands. Redskins with a record of 5-6 coming into this game. 3rd down and 7 from the Giants' 43. McNabb quickly to Cooley, breaks free and picks up a 1st down. He stays in bounds and is finally tackled by Kenny Phillips after a gain of 21 yards.
Well, the Giants better stop, missing tackles like they are right now. This game is not over. Right here, a little screen. That defensive line has to turn and run. Right there. Cooley's not out of bounds. He's still running. Everyone thinks that he's down. This game is not over by far.
Now, I just talked about him earlier, Goose. I thought it was one of the better tackling games I'd seen from the Giants. Terrell Thomas has an opportunity to just blow that play up. Chris Cooley, great individual effort to make that play.
From the 22 on 1st down. McNabb with time. He fires to the end zone, and it is picked off by Terrell Thomas. Pass was intended for Santana Moss, and Thomas comes up with his 5th interception of the season. It's the 3rd Redskins turnover.
I hope that he saw the same color jersey with the same color end zone, because Terrell Thomas was there the whole time.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150 and its 4 new engines. This is the future of truck. By Domino's. Oh, yes, we did. And by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K.
Redskins turn the ball over for the 3rd time. Giants with a 28-7 lead.
Well, I was trying to help Donovan McNabb out, but there's 24 right there, right in his line of vision. I don't know how he doesn't see him. He's still there. Now you look across. Terrell Thomas breaks on the ball. I don't know what Donovan McNabb was thinking at that point. I mean, Tony just got through saying this game's not over yet, and he makes a critical mistake.
Bob Bradshaw tackled behind the line by Edward Golston.
I mean, he was so deep at the pre-snap. The only thing I could think of was maybe Donovan lost him in the end zone. His blue jersey, blue end zone color, because it was such an easy read for him. But from that camera angle, you could see that Donovan had him right in his line of vision the whole time.
Second and 10, play action. Manning looking for Manningham. And he makes the catch at the 41 for a Giants 1st down. 23 yards, time for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Bengals trying to come back against the Saints after TO touchdown. Cedric Benson scores from a yard out, and it's now a 20-19 New Orleans lead. The difference in this ball game, a missed extra point by recently signed Clint Stitzer for the Bengals. Getting moves to do.
All right, Kurt, so the Saints looking for their 9th win. Falcons will be in action later today in Tampa. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Bradshaw, gain 6.
You got such 2 different running styles. Brandon Jacobs, a big physical pounder. Watch the cutting ability of Ahmad Bradshaw. He can just stick his foot in the ground and get going the other direction so quickly. I tell you, it's a great job by Eli Manning on that previous long pass play to recognize it for what maybe the only time this afternoon. Mario Manningham did not have D'Angelo Hall on him one-on-one.
There's Bradshaw again. Bradshaw tackled at the 49-yard line by Chris Wilson. Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw both with 2 rushing touchdowns. First time the Giants have scored 4 rushing touchdowns in a game since Halloween back in 2004 against Minnesota. Third down and 2 for the Giants.
They got Kevin Boss split out wide right, and they don't have anybody on him. They're going to put D'Angelo Hall there. That means Mario Manningham has to be freed up in his coverage.
for Manningham. Rocky McIntosh dropped into coverage. Kareem Moore in the vicinity as well.
Yeah, you can see Eli Manning at the end of that play wanting Mario Manningham right here to stay vertical. Don't curl it right there. Just stay vertical. You brought yourself right into coverage against Kareem Moore. He's like, no, up the field, up the field. We had it. By formation, they finally got Mario Manningham with an opportunity for the big play, and he broke it across the field a little bit instead of staying straight vertical.
Eli chatting with Manningham on the sideline. So the Giants have scored touchdowns following the first 2 Redskin turnovers. This time punted away, and Banks steps out of bounds at the 22.
One of the best places to put your mouthpiece, Kenny. That way you know you're never going to lose it. Just wedge it in there up at the top.
Did you take yours out after every play?
I didn't like the ones that hung down a whole lot, so I actually did that quite a bit. You know, went with the ones that hung down for a while, but then people would always grab and rip them off you, and you couldn't find it. Then you had to wear one that wasn't molded.
Needed some caution tape. McNabb fires downfield, and Santana Moss with a diving attempt.
I had some opportunities. There's another chance for a big play right there. I mean, Santana Moss is going to get behind everybody. I don't understand it with the situation of the game the way it is. I mean, Antrell Roll has just played that extremely poorly as your deep safety.
You're right, Darryl. I'm really surprised those safeties are playing so shallow. We've seen them deep week after week, especially against this Redskins offense. They're going to be trying to go throwing the ball behind everybody. Really deepen up. Right now they're only 12 yards deep.
Santana Moss without a catch today. Leads the Redskins with 62. McNabb moving to his right. Fires, and it's incomplete, intended for Cooley.
And this is excellent coverage because Donovan McNabb does a great job in the pocket extending this play. Now, he doesn't run around like he used to, but he's moving around. Watch the coverage right here. There's Jonathan Goff on Chris Cooley. That's nice. Eyes at the quarterback. Have your arm out to keep a feel on that receiver to make sure he doesn't all of a sudden stop real quick. And there's Donovan extending the play. Now, Perry Field's done a great job as a defensive coordinator this year. They've really bought into what he's selling and do a good job executing his scheme.
Now 3 wide receivers for the Redskins. From the 21, 3rd down and 10. And the play clock ran all the way down. McNabb tried to call timeout. Question is, did he call it a time? He did.
Team timeout. Washington.
So the Redskins take their first timeout, 3rd and 10, when we come back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Windows 7.
Back at the Meadowlands with producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, and the rest of our crew, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Early 4th quarter. Giants lead 28-7.
And then Justin Tuck and O.C. Umenyiora on the same side.
Full start, number 86. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Fred Davis.
You know, when Matthias Kiwanuka went out, I thought this defense was going to take a hit. And really, when you look at what Jason Pierre-Paul has done, he's kind of filled that role again. Now they've got those 3 dynamic pass rushers in that front. And on that last snap, when the Giants set up their defense, they had O.C. Umenyiora and Justin Tuck side by side. We'll see if they do it again.
Yes, they are. Top of your screen.
McNabb on 3rd and 15. Hit, loses the football. Justin Tuck with the Giants' 4th sack today.
We talked about the defense at the top needing to come out and make a play today and be able to carry this team. The offense, I didn't expect them to play as well. Oh,
Kick, punt is blocked. There is a flag. Hunter Smith punting out of his end zone, had the kick blocked. But there is a penalty marker. Here's Walt Coleman.
Holding, number 41 of the kicking team. That penalty's declined. First down.
I mean, everybody has stepped up today. We had a great return on the opening kickoff. Now another play by special teams.
And it's the former Redskin, Devin Thomas.
And he's had a big tackle today. Really got up for his old team. You can see Kareem Moore right there, who got called on the hold. A good move back to the inside.
Devin Thomas making his Giants debut, a second-round pick by the Redskins in 2008. Played 4 games for Washington this year, went to Carolina, did not have much success. Played only 1 game for the Panthers. Thomas with the block. And now it's Bradshaw up the middle. Time for another game break. Here's Kurt.
We showed you the Bengals pulling to within a point of New Orleans. Very next possession, the Saints make it an 8-point game again. This time, Drew Brees hooking up with Robert Meacham, 52 yards on the score. It's 27-19, New Orleans leading at Cincy. Danny Moose and News.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Second down and 7 for the Giants. Ahmad Bradshaw in the backfield has 998 rushing yards this season. Hagan in motion. Here's Bradshaw. And he picks up 1 more down to the 10. All 4 Giants touchdowns have come on the ground. 2 for Jacobs. There he is behind Tom Coughlin. Ahmad Bradshaw with 2.
And again, the success they've had in the running game today, this is without a lot of their guys in the lineup. David Deal still out, Sean O'Hara still out, Sean Andrews, who they put in, Kevin Booth and Will Beatty have done a great job holding down that left side while those guys get back out in this line, get shifted around because of the injuries.
They're down at 6. Manning over the top, looking for Bradshaw. Ronnie Holiday knocked it away, so the Giants will send out the field goal unit.
Bradshaw tried to come out for this screen, but just didn't get out there in time. And he looked like Eli threw it a little early, and they just did not connect.
So here's Lawrence Tynes, who has hit 12 in a row. Sage Rosenfeld's the holder. This will be a 28-yard attempt from the right hash. And now Rosenfeld sees something that he does not like. Giants had only 10 men on the field. Barry Cofield is the late arrival. The Giants will use a timeout.
But something was wrong. Finally realized he had his snow cap underneath his helmet. His helmet wasn't fitting.
Trying to keep warm.
Yeah, they got that fixed, and now they can run the play.
I think Barry will hear about that in the locker room this week.
Here he is on the sideline. Man, I can't believe he had to run that far. Forgot about that. Oh, my head doesn't fit right. Oh, there it is. Skull cap and a hat on. Now we're ready to go. Thanks, Coach.
Have you ever seen that before? There's Tom Quinn, special teams coach for the Giants. Tynes from 28. He extends the Giants' lead.
Well, the defense of the Giants is really hard and soul this team. They've turned up the heat here in the second half.
Justin Tuck, Osia Manura, Giants with 4 sacks today. Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader coming up. America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see the Dallas Cowboys and the Indianapolis Colts, who are 3 minutes away from falling a half game out in the AFC South. Jacksonville leading Tennessee late 17-6. Second return today for Chris Wilson as the Giants once again keep it away from Brandon Banks. So the backup linebacker has had 2 opportunities today. Donovan McNabb has thrown for 220 yards. He's turned the ball over twice. 1 interception, 1 fumble.
Yeah, bad interception. Just a bad decision, a bad throw. It was 28-7 at the time, but you're going in to maybe get it to 28-14. It really changed the complexion of this game in the second half.
Redskins start from the 36. Off the play fake to Davis. Pass is caught by Mike Sellers, and he's tackled by Corey Webster up at the 43-yard line after a gain of 7.
And you're going to have to be in this hurry-up mode for the remainder of this game. Sitting at 31-7.
No real sense of urgency by the Redskins.
No, there really wasn't in between these two plays.
Giants took control early, scoring on their first 2 possessions today. McNabb to Sellers again. Picks up a first down as he hurdles Terrell Thomas into Giants territory.
That's some athleticism right there now for a big guy. Let's take a look at that. Mike Sellers, fullback, Darrell's position. Look at that, Darrell. That's a high hurdle.
You know what, the good thing about it, Goose, he knows that guys are going to go low on him. He's such a big guy. When he gets out into that flat, gets turned north and south. I've seen Mike do that several times throughout his career. Guys are going to go low on him. He's athletic enough to get up and over the top.
Sellers a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. From the Giants 47. Pass is caught by Roydell Williams, who picks up a Redskins first down. Terrell Thomas the tackle, gain of 11.
Tony, the mindset of a defense in this situation, it's 31-7.
Yeah, it's pin your ears back and let's go get them.
Yeah, but you don't see that from.
Yeah, haven't really seen that. Yeah, you know you're going to rush four down linemen. I mean, line up and you saw OCU Manure and Justin Tuck lining up on the same side. No creativity right now, but with the draws and all the shuffle passes like this, I mean, you have to go and look at that turnover.
Control roll on the recovery after the shovel pass to Keelan Williams.
Well, they were heads up on that play. They picked off that shovel pass right off the bat. Did a nice job of punching it right out. Donovan McNabb is saying it was not a completion.
Well, remember now, this shovel pass, you got to have possession. It's all the same rules as you would have if it was thrown down the field. So does Keelan Williams have possession of this before it's knocked out? Sure looks like it.
I think he did. Took a couple of steps.
We have a completed shovel pass and then a fumble. First down, Giants.
I think it's a good call. He bobbled it a little bit at the start, but then definitely secured possession.
Justin Tuck knocked it away from Williams. His second forced fumble today. Entree roll on the recovery.
Yeah, Kenny, you mentioned the speech last week at the halftime of the Jacksonville game, and it was OCU Manure and Justin Tuck. And one of the things that we've talked about, for the last couple of years about this Giant team is, who's the leaders? Who are the guys? Because there's been several times over the last couple of years when you wanted somebody to step up and be a vocal guy, and Justin Tuck finally did that, and it was kind of just raw and pure, and it wasn't anything scripted, and this guy's really responded. He's done it on a couple of occasions this year, so I know that sometimes he feels that it's not part of his character, but these guys really respond to his leadership.
He told us it was necessary. He did not like the energy, intensity, or the passion. Out to the 22-yard line, Ahmad Bradshaw, and with that carry, Bradshaw reaches 1,000 yards for the season. He is the 8th Giant in history to rush for 1,000 yards in a season.
4.6 per carry. That's pretty impressive right there also.
Giants defense has forced 4 turnovers. They also have 4 sacks. Giants terrific in all 3 phases today. Here's Bradshaw again. On special teams, they've handled Banks. They blocked a punt. Lawrence Tynes hitting his 13th consecutive field goal. Matt Dodge with that terrific punt of 53 yards in the first half.
DJ Ware, great opening kickoff return to kind of set the tempo for the day. And again, we mentioned at the top, a lot of the offensive players will be getting healthy next week for the Giants. There's a good chance David Deal's going to be back. A good chance that Steve Smith's going to be back. those pieces start getting at it. Remember, just a few weeks ago, a lot of people talked about the New York Giants as not only the best team in the NFC, but maybe the best team in the NFL, playing at a very, very high level at that time. They've been able to weather this injury storm, and they're going to start getting those guys back.
Manning firing downfield, intended for Hagan. D'Angelo Hall and Kevin Barnes on the coverage, and the Giants will travel to Minnesota next week. The question is, will it be Tavares Jackson? Will Brett Favre's streak come to an end?
I think that may be the most intriguing decision of the week as we get ready to go. I think that Minnesota, at some point, with the way the season is, they have to find out about Tavares Jackson and what is their future going forward. Brett Favre has really said flat out, I'm not coming back this year. They've got to move in a different direction. And do they have the guy that they want to lead them forward on the roster, or do they have to find that guy in the offseason?
Dodgers punt. They're scooped up at the 35 by Banks. Crosses the 45-yard line and then steps out of bounds.
Well, they've turned the ball over a lot this year, but they've also taken it away a bunch, and they did it again today, and at some critical times. You know, the momentum of the game was kind of hanging there. They got the one from Anthony Armstrong that was big at that time. That one there by Donovan McNabb. That's a critical mistake by Donovan on that throw. Terrell Thomas with the big interception. And then again, Justin Tuck, who on the last couple of series has had some big plays, ended the last series with a sack. And then on that last defensive stand by the Giants, punches that one out. After Tony and I were just kind of talking at that time about, you know, what this defense was going to do to finish this game. You see their performance since halftime, since that big speech by O.C. Umenyiora and Justin Tuck at halftime of the Jacksonville game. 8 sacks, 6 takeaways, and only 10 points scored.
Jason Pierre-Paul has 4 of those sacks, 2 against Jacksonville, 2 today. McNabb on first down has it batted down by the man who came out with his snow cap underneath his helmet a couple of minutes ago prior to the field goal attempt, Barry Cofield.
Well, it's a smart job by Barry Cofield. He goes, gets the push up the middle, watching Donovan McNabb's eyes going downfield. Boom, get your hand up, knock the ball down. You know, that's how you get turnovers. That's, you know, the Giants, Eli Manning will tell you all about that. He's had a lot of tip balls, and, you know, that's caused a lot of interceptions for him, and could be a big play for a defense.
Second down and 10. McNabb over the middle, and that is Santana Moss. That is his first catch today. Picks up a first down, gain of 16.
Another area that the Giants, you know, really quietly have done a good job of limiting Santana Moss and his big play capability.
He's been thrown to 5 times. Of course, he broke into the league with the Jets. Leads the Redskins in receptions this year, but had been shut out over the first 55 minutes of this game. From the 38. McNabb to Cooley, and it's stripped by Deion Grant and picked up by Jason Pierre-Paul. The 5th Redskins turnover.
They have gotten so good at attacking the football this year as a defense. And again, it's the hustle of Jason Pierre-Paul. Here he is down here rushing the passer at the snap. Ball's thrown downfield, turn and chase. Deion Grant has had a nice game this afternoon. Had a lot of big plays.
Great timing on that punch right there. Cooley didn't even have a chance to get it to his body. Deion Grant goes for a nice hatchet. Gets that ball right out. Guys are having fun there on that Giant sideline.
Redskins have now turned it over on 4 of their last 6 possessions. There's Jason Pierre-Paul, Giants' first-round draft pick. 2 sacks and now a fumble recovery. From the 30 on first down, it's Bradshaw. Ahmad Bradshaw spins across the 40. Picks up 11 yards and a Giants first down. What's going on with the Saints and the Bengals, Kurt?
Oh, the Bengals trying to end an 8-game losing streak, down 8 points in the 4th quarter, but Cedric Benson scores a touchdown against the Saints, and because they missed an extra point earlier in the game, they decided to go for 2. The 2-point conversion is good. It's tied at 27. Time permitting, we'll take you out for the finish of that one. Kenny, Moose, Goose?
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Under 4 minutes to play here. Giants lead 31-7. This is Ware. Mentioned his big return back in the first quarter. Ware bottled up back at the 39-yard line. Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Stick around following Game 2 of our doubleheader for the OT with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Jimmy, and Michael. They'll bring you exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and a look ahead to next week's action. America's #1 post-game show, the OT, presented by Lowe's, coming up after the late games only on Fox.
How did a Steeler fan lose their way and get into this game?
We saw Jets hat in the crowd earlier.
That's, that's understandable in Pittsburgh.
There's Ware. As we approach 3 minutes remaining, perhaps she was a fan of Terry Bradshaw.
She knew Fox was here. Good way to get on camera.
Steelers have a big one against the Ravens tonight. Well, the Giants will hold serve following the Eagles win over Houston Thursday, so Eagles and Giants will be tied atop the NFC East at 8-4. They will play each other in 2 weeks. We told you the Giants will travel to Minnesota next week. The Eagles will face the Cowboys in Dallas. They're down at 12, screens Ware. Giants will punt.
I think it's funny how scheduling happens during the course of the year and how the season goes. I bet you the Philadelphia Eagles wish that one of their matchups at least was against Dallas earlier in the season. They're playing a little bit better today. We'll see how they do in Indianapolis after this game.
All Giants here at the Meadowlands as we hit the 2-minute warning. Giants 2 minutes away from their 8th win of the season. Well, there's Albert Haynesworth, who was deactivated for today's game by the Redskins. America's game of the week coming up. Most of you will see the Cowboys and the Colts. Following this one, Giants lead the Redskins 31-7. Redskins will be home for Tampa Bay next week. They will drop to 5-7. Dodge punting from his own 30. Again, angling it away from Banks. Terrific kick taken at the 8. And Banks is forced out of bounds by Devin Thomas. 50-yard punt. Dodge, here's some cheers. Tom Coughlin is happy with his punter. The Giants' remaining schedule, they will play 3 of their last 4 on the road.
And a couple of big ones there. You see the 19th and the 26th, 8-4 Philadelphia. Obviously, that one's going to have huge impact on the NFC East. Green Bay at Lambeau. Who knows what the weather will be like there, but the Giants showed a couple of years ago that it doesn't matter how cold it is at Lambeau, they can go up and play well. But that was the importance of this team being able to weather the storm with the offensive injuries and really come out today, win a game that they really should win, and then start getting those guys back next week, because you saw how difficult that schedule is in that middle portion.
McNabb's pass was deflected by Pierre-Paul, has had an outstanding game. We saw the Giants' remaining schedule. How about McNabb's former team, the Eagles? They will play their next 2 on the road in Dallas and here at the Meadowlands, as we have another look at the deflection by Jason Pierre-Paul. Then the Eagles finish up with 2 at home against Minnesota and Dallas.
And again, I pointed out, early in the year, Dallas, really having some struggles. They've got that turned around under Jason Garrett. He's 2-1 with the one heartbreaking loss on Thanksgiving Day. So they'll catch a different Dallas Cowboy team than what was playing earlier this season in the month of December and into January.
The Eagles will face the Cowboys twice. So the Giants and Eagles tied atop the NFC East at 8-4. The sneak by McNabb for a first down. Great job by our entire crew today. Our producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, associate directors Jeremy Green and Darren Foster, associate producer Chirag Devaskar, technical producer is David M. Hill, and the technical director is Chris Castro. Dave Corris crunching the numbers with Ben Boma. Thanks to Rick Camps, Matt Vanovic, Lou Tribbiani, and the rest of our crew.
Hoping Mike Frank, our director feeling better. He's a little under the weather with the sniffles. Rough week this week.
Hung in there today. America's Game of the Week coming up next.
There's all our camera guys outside in the elements. This is probably the coldest game we've had so far this season. So
Winnie Bernfeld up here in the booth with us.
big thanks to all the guys out there in the elements.
And now to Roydell Williams, out to the 33.
I'm excited to see what happens next week with the New York Giants. Do they get David Deal back? Does Steve Smith come back? You know, how long until Hakeem Nicks is back and a part of this offense again? Because they were playing at a very, very high level as an offense for about 4 or 5 weeks straight.
And they could be definitely very dangerous with the way this defense is playing and stripping balls. If they get that offense really cranking with all their weapons, who knows what could happen, Darryl.
And then also, Goose, you know, the change of, Brandon Jacobs kind of being the tone setter and the starter, and then Ahmad Bradshaw kind of grabbing his carries in between. The way that they've struck that balance here during this time.
Well, I'm going to talk to Brandon Jacobs afterwards. It's going to be on the OT after today's game. We're going to see what he has to say. Also, Justin Tuck, I want to talk to him about, he had that big talk last week at halftime, and man, that defense has really responded since he got up and spoke to him last week.
They forced 5 turnovers today, 4 sacks. You got to look at Brandon Jacobs. 197 yards on the ground for the Giants, and for the 5th straight game, Eli Manning has kept clean. Giants have not allowed a sack now in 5 consecutive games. Here's McNabb with time. And the pass is intended for Anthony Armstrong.
And this was a point of emphasis by Jim Haslett coming into the game this afternoon. We cannot let the running game of the Giants be a big factor, and they did not accomplish that at all. 8 rushes for 103 yards. That's impressive. And then Ahmad Bradshaw just grinding it out. But that's a great afternoon by Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. Now you've kind of rediscovered that running game during this time while your wide receivers were out of the lineup. This Giant team, if they get these guys back, they could be stronger than they were before Hakeem Nicks and Steve Smith got hurt.
Keelan Williams into Giants territory. Next week, the Giants face a Minnesota defense that has led the league in rushing defense 3 of the last 4 years, but have not played as well this season. Giants go to 8-4 in the NFC East. Redskins drop to 5-7. Final play barring a defensive penalty, and it turns into the 6th Washington turnover. The interception by Corey Webster, his 3rd of the year. So the Giants +5 in the takeaway, giveaway department. Brandon Jacobs with a terrific afternoon. 103 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Giants win it 31-7. For Moose and Goose, Kenny Albert saying so long now to Kurt Menefee.